President Trump deploys D.C. troops as California trial kicks off. Tyrone Bowman live. According to Axios, let's talk about it right now. A federal judge in California will hear arguments Monday over whether the Trump administration violated federal law with its controversial deployment of the National Guard and Marines to Los Angeles this summer. Meanwhile, on the East Coast, the president announced he is deploying the National Guard and seizing control of D.C. police force amid his renewed focus on homelessness and crime in the nation's capital. Well, as you all know, pretty soon, I think they want the Senate to make it to pass laws making it a crime to be homeless in America. If you're going to pass laws that indicate being homelessness is a crime, then how come all the rich billionaires and politicians aren't doing anything to help the plight of the homeless not to be homeless anymore? They're homeless for a reason. They're jobless for a reason. So, what is really going on here? Both instances are emblematic of Trump's targeting of blue cities and willingness to seize and test the bounds of executive authority. But there are fewer roadblocks for the president to mobilize the capital city's troops. The D.C. National Guard's soldiers and airmen are under the president's control, not the district's mayor. It is the only National Guard unit of all the states and territories that reports solely to the president. The D.C. Guard says it has some 2,700 personnel available, while the city's Metropolitan Police Department includes more than 3,000 sworn members. Trump's memorandum, according to the White House, directs Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to mobilize the D.C. National Guard until law and order is restored. It also directs Hegseth to coordinate with state governors and authorize the orders of any additional National Guard units as needed. In other states like California, the governor serves as the commander-in-chief of their National Guard. That's what Trump's federalization of the California National Guard amid the Los Angeles area immigration protests, that's what makes it so contentious. He did so over Golden State Governor Gavin Newsom's objections. The Trump administration mobilized more than 4,000 Guard troops and roughly 700 Marines to the LA area in June before ending the deployment of most of the troops in July. Newsom sued Trump, Hegseth, and the Defense Department in June, arguing the deployment, quote, for reasons not authorized by law and without input from or consent of the governor, contravenes core statutory and constitutional restrictions. The lawsuit argues that the administration violated a nearly 150-year-old federal law, the Posse Comitatus Act, that bars federal troops from participating in civilian law enforcement except when authorized by law. While thousands of soldiers have been withdrawn, Newsom's office said late last month that around 300 Guards members would continue to be stationed at the Joint Forces Training Base in Los Alamitos. I think I mispronounced that. Alamitos, without a clear mission, direction, or timeline. As noted by the Brennan Center for Justice, the Justice Department has arrested or asserted that the D.C. Guard can operate in a non-federal militia status and would therefore not be covered by the Posse Comitatus Act. Georgetown University Law Center professor Steve Vadek writes that while this is a troubling loophole, it is also a relatively modest one given the D.C. Guard's small size. That's why, people, you got to know the law. You have to know your constitutional rights. And you have to hire qualified lawyers who know how to defend you in case trouble erupts. You just can't sit back and let politicians and people tell you any and everything and violate you 24 hours a day. And you don't have any constitutional rights. Listen, you don't have to argue with these folk. You don't have to debate with these people. You don't even have to try to defend yourself against them, because they know when they violate you and they put you in a position where they brutalize you, they know that they're in a lot of trouble. That's why they're always hollering, stop resisting arrest. That's why they give you 10,000 different commands in less than 20 seconds to confuse your mind, to have you all over the place. Because they think that because they've been given total immunity from prosecution, that they can commit crimes and get away with them until it happens to somebody in their family. Then you want to cry bloody murder. Then you want justice. When a cop does the same thing to one of their family members, they want that person's head chopped off. They want that person to be given the electric chair. They want to execute that person. They want to become the vigilante and put on the white sheets and go to the person's house at night. Oh yes, this is what's going on in America. Let's not pretend that we don't know what's going on. Let's not pretend that we don't see. And listen, the appalling silence of so-called good people who allow tyranny to run without restraint are just as guilty as those who commit the crimes. For DC residents, the current moment may harken back to 2020, when Trump mobilized the DC National Guard to quell protests amid the country's national reckoning over racism and police brutality. You know, I see this all the time. They violate people and then get mad when people speak about it. But when it comes to certain groups in this nation, you say one word against them, just one word, disagree with them on one topic, don't go along with something they want to be done, and they'll begin to cry that you're persecuting them. They do it all the time. Stop going along with what's wrong. Have a spine and stand up for what is right. And stop thinking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because it could come to your doorstep one day, to your family member. Support powerful nonprofit organizations of advocacy who really fight for justice. And stop saying it doesn't matter. It does matter when it's your child, your son. It does matter when it's your grandson that you know that's a Rhodes Scholar. It does matter. Don't tell me it doesn't. I'm not here for my health. I'm here presenting a service. I'm not becoming a lawyer to make money. I'm on a mission. It's not about making money for me. I could care less about making money in that sense. So thousands of guards, personnel from 11 states and several other federal authorities ended up patrolling the DC district. Trump vowed Monday Truth Social Post, shared around 2 hours before his 10 a.m. news conference on DC, that the nation's capital would be liberated today. His words echoed his rhetoric from June when he claimed to have a crowd of soldiers that his administration would liberate Los Angeles. That promised liberation comes to a city where crime is trending down, and to streets that are already being patrolled by FBI agents amid ramped up federal law enforcement. So I'm going to try to find the video of President Trump's press conference. I'm reading something here. All right. I'm going to try to find it for myself. When I find it, I'll load it up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Never surrender. Never quit.